In 1953, a bride could prepare for her wedding with a jar of cold cream, a lemon, and a bottle of cider vinegar, and walk down the aisle glowing. Today, that same bride is quoted 4 figures for facials, serums, and a bridal package. The difference is not the bride. Somewhere along the way, an industry convinced your grandmother that everything already in her kitchen was not good enough. Most of what she knew came down to one idea. The skin and the scalp protect themselves with a thin, slightly acidic film. It has a name, the acid mantle, and you are going to hear that phrase more than once before this list is over. Hit that subscribe button, because what you are about to learn might change how you think about every bottle on your bathroom shelf. The villain here is the convenience culture that taught us to buy what we used to make. Let us count down the 25 forgotten wedding beauty secrets every 1950s bride knew, the ones that industry hopes you never rediscover. Number 25. The cold water finish. After cleansing, a bride splashed her face with water as cold as the tap would run, then again on the wedding morning to wake the skin and calm puffiness. Cold water constricts the small vessels near the surface, which is why a tired face looks firmer within a minute. It does not shrink pores permanently, but for a few hours before a ceremony, it gives a smoother surface for makeup. The method was to splash the face 10 or 15 times, then moisturize while the skin is still damp. Today, that effect is sold as a chilled jade roller, and the tap water was free. The next asked for a little patience. Number 24. The 50 brush strokes. Every night a bride brushed her hair slowly, scalp to ends, counting to 50. The point was the scalp's own oil. The skin on the head produces an oil called sebum, and slow brushing carries it down each strand, coating it the way a conditioner tries to. Hair brushed this way reflects light evenly, which is what reads as shine in a photograph. The method was a soft, natural bristle brush and long, even strokes, the knots worked out with the fingers first. Today we buy shine serums to lay on top, when your grandmother coaxed the shine up from the root with a brush and 5 minutes. If brushing moved the body's own oil, the next added protection. Number 23. Petroleum jelly under the eyes. A thin film of plain petroleum jelly under the eyes before a bed was one of the most common bridal tricks of the decade, and brands like Vaseline sat in nearly every bathroom. It works as an occlusive, a seal that slows the water in your skin from evaporating overnight. The skin under the eye is where dryness shows first, and a barrier that holds moisture against it leaves it plumper by morning. It does not feed the skin anything. It keeps in what is already there. The method was a dab, the size of a grain of rice, smoothed gently under each eye, never rubbed. Today, a tiny jar of eye cream built on the same principle sells for the price of 100 tubs of the original. That sealed moisture in. The next took makeup off without stripping the skin. Number 22. The cold cream tissue off. Before any water touched her face at night, a bride removed her makeup with cold cream, and Pond's was the name most associated with it. This was the original double cleanse, decades before the phrase existed. The logic is, like dissolving like, makeup and the skin's own oil are oil-based, and water alone cannot lift them, but the oils in cold the cream dissolve them. She smoothed it over the face, then wiped it away with a tissue, taking the day's grime with it, without the scrubbing and harsh soap that damaged the skin's surface. Today, the beauty world has rediscovered this, calls it an oil cleanser, and acts as though it invented the idea. If cold cream cleaned gently, the next toned just as gently. Number 21. Witch hazel as a toner. After cleansing, many brides wipe the face with witch hazel on a cotton pad. Witch hazel is a mild plant, astringent, gently tightening the skin and lifting the last traces of cleanser and oil without the sting of the alcohol-heavy toners that came later. It left the skin clean and calmed the redness that nerves bring on before a wedding. The method was a splash on a cotton pad, swept over the face and neck, allowed to dry before the cream went on. Today, the toner aisle promises to do what a plain bottle of witch hazel did for pennies. That refined the skin. The next smoothed it. Number 20. The sugar and lemon scrub. For smooth skin, a bride mixed fine sugar into a little lemon juice and rubbed it over her face, elbows and knees. The sugar granules slough off the dull surface cells that make skin look rough, while the lemon juice adds a mild fruit acid that loosens them chemically. The result is a brighter surface that catches light. Your grandmother knew to do this at night and to rinse it well, never in the sun. The method was a spoonful of fine sugar, enough lemon juice to make a paste, rubbed in small circles, then rinsed cool. Today, a designer sugar scrub sells for more than a month of groceries cost her, and it is the same sugar. If the scrub took roughness away, the next put softness back. Number 19. Rosewater and glycerin. A mix of rosewater and a few drops of glycerin was one of the most beloved skin tonics of the era, misted over the face for a soft, dewy finish. Glycerin is a humectant, drawing water from the air and holding it against the skin, which is why skin treated with it looks plump rather than tight. Rosewater carried it and gave the lit from within look every bridal magazine now promises. The method was simple: a few drops of glycerin stirred into rosewater, shaken and pressed onto clean skin. Today, this exact pairing sells as a luxury hydrating mist, and the two ingredients still cost almost nothing. Number 18. The lemon hair rinse. Now the first secret that points at the heart of this story. After washing, a bride poured a cup of water with the juice of a lemon over her hair as a final rinse, especially when she wanted her wedding set to gleam. Here is where the acid mantle enters the picture. Each strand of hair is covered in tiny overlapping scales, like shingles on a roof, and when they lie flat, the hair is shiny, but soap and hard water leave them raised and rough. A mildly acidic rinse encourages those scales to lie back down, sealing the surface so it reflects light evenly. That sealed surface is shine. The method was the juice of one lemon in a cup of cool water, poured through last. Today, every glossing treatment is chasing the same sealed cuticle that one lemon delivered for free. Pause here, because this is the idea that holds the whole list together. The acid mantle is real, and it explains more of this list than any product ever could. Your skin and your scalp are coated in a thin, slightly acidic film, sitting at a pH of about 5.5, and that mild acidity does constant work. It keeps the skin barrier intact, keeps unwanted bacteria from taking hold, and on the scalp keeps the hair's cuticle lying flat and smooth. Vinegar, lemon, and the skin's own chemistry all sit on the acidic side, which is why an acid rinse leaves hair glossy and gentle, cleansing leaves skin calm. Now think about what arrived to replace all this. The harsh alkaline soaps and strong detergent shampoos that the post-war boom put in every home do the opposite. They strip that film away, strip the mantle, and the skin tightens and overproduces oil to compensate. Strip it from the scalp and the hair frizzes while the roots turn greasy within a day. A shampoo that strips the scalp so completely that it produces excess oil within a day is not a failed product. It is a brilliantly designed one because it creates a customer who needs another bottle by the end of the week. Every secret still to come is your grandmother working with that acidic film instead of against it. Number 17. the cider vinegar rinse. The companion to the lemon rinse was a rinse of cider vinegar in water poured over the hair after shampooing, a detangler and shine treatment in one. The vinegar neutralizes the alkaline residue soap leaves behind and flattens the hair's cuticle so the strands lie smooth instead of catching on each other. Smooth strands mean fewer tangles and far more shine. The method was a couple of tablespoons of cider vinegar in a cup of water poured through last. The sharp smell vanishes as the hair dries. Today, the same fix sits on the shelf as an apple cider vinegar clarifying treatment at a premium. If vinegar resealed the hair's surface, the next rebuilt what was inside. Number 16. The egg yolk treatment. For hair that needed strengthening, a bride beat an egg yolk and worked it through her hair as a mask. This one works through protein. Hair is made almost entirely of protein, and damage from heat and sun leaves microscopic gaps along each strand. The protein in egg yolk is small enough to settle into those gaps, temporarily filling them so the strand feels thicker and smoother. The method mattered. One beaten yolk through damp hair, left 5 to 10 minutes, then rinsed with cool water only, never warm, because warm water cooks the egg into the hair. Today, protein repair masks promise to fill those same gaps, and your great-grandmother did it with one egg. If the egg fed the hair from within, the next coated it for body. Number 15. Beer as a setting rinse. It sounds like a joke, but flat beer worked through the hair before setting was a genuine trick for body and hold. The mechanism is protein again, this time from the grain and yeast. The proteins left in beer coat each strand in a fine film that adds body and helps a set hold its shape, like a gentle natural setting lotion. The method was to let a small amount of beer go flat, work it through towel-dried hair, then set as usual. The smell disappeared completely once the hair was dry. Today, volumizing mousses mimic exactly this coating effect, and a bride did it with the last flat inch in a bottle. That added body. The next shaped the hair with nothing at all. Number 14. Pin curls and rag rollers. Before the wedding, a bride set her hair in pin curls or rolled it onto strips of soft rag overnight, then brushed it into soft waves. The value here is everything that did not happen to the hair. Setting damp hair around a pin and letting it dry reshapes the strand gently, using time instead of heat, so the cuticle is never scorched. Hair set this way kept its strength and shine, which is why a 1950s bride's waves looked liquid rather than fried. The method was damp hair wound into flat curls and pinned, left overnight, then brushed out. Today, heatless curl kits are sold as a new wellness trend, and they are the rag rollers your great-grandmother slept in. If the hair was cared for cold, the next cared for the hands. Number 13. The Lanolin Hand and Cuticle Cream. A bride thought about her hands because the ring would be photographed all day. The richest hand creams of the era were built around lanolin, the natural wax from sheep's wool. Its structure is unusually close to the oils human skin makes itself, so it sinks in and softens rather than sitting on top, sealing moisture into rough hands and cuticles for the close-up of the ring. The method was a thick massage into the hands at bedtime, sometimes under cotton gloves overnight for the driest skin. Today, this same wax is the hero ingredient in many premium repair balms, and your grandmother bought it plainly by name. The eyes were prepared with the same care. Number 12. Castor oil on brows and lashes. Every night a bride brushed a little castor oil onto her brows and lashes, hoping for a fuller frame by the wedding. The honest mechanism is conditioning rather than miracle growth. The oil coats each tiny hair, so lashes and brows look glossier and are less likely to break off, which over weeks leaves them appearing fuller because fewer hairs are snapping away. It does not grow new hair from nothing. The results came from keeping what she had healthy. The method was a clean little brush. A thin coat at night kept clear of the eye. Today, lash and brow serums sell that same conditioning promise at a steep markup, and the original cost almost nothing. If the eyes were framed, the next made the face last. Number 11. The pressed powder set over cream. On the wedding day, a bride did not just apply makeup, she set it with a cream base first and a dusting of powder on top. This was how her face survived a full day of heat, tears, and kisses. The cream base gives colour and a dewy hold, and the powder absorbs oil and locks the cream in place so it does not slide or crease. The method was a thin cream foundation pressed in with the fingers, then a light veil of powder pressed, not rubbed over the top. Today, setting powders and sprays are a category of their own, and your grandmother had the same staying power with a compact she owned. Now, one of the most surprising secrets, the one that says the most with the least. Number 10. The single alive red lip. A 1950s bride often built her whole face around one decision, a single, well-chosen red lipstick. The reasoning is more sophisticated than it sounds. A clear blue-toned red draws the eye to the mouth, makes the teeth look whiter by contrast, and lends the whole face a healthy colour, which means the rest of the makeup can stay soft and minimal. One good choice did the work of a dozen products. The trick was matching the undertone to the woman, so it made her look more alive rather than masked. The method was line and fill with one good red, blot on a tissue, then reapply once. Today, brides are sold full contour palettes. When your grandmother understood one, right red was the most efficient beauty decision she could make. Pause again, because it is worth asking why this slipped away. None of these secrets failed. They were not abandoned because they stopped working. They were abandoned because nobody could build a fortune selling you a lemon, an egg, and a bottle of cider vinegar you already had at home. The post-war years poured enormous effort into convincing American women that the modern, store-bought product was always superior to the homemade one, and that a serious bride could not trust her wedding to something out of the pantry. The genius of it was the dependence it created. Sell a cleanser that strips the skin, and you have also sold the moisturizer to repair it. Sell a shampoo that strips the scalp, and you have sold the conditioner to undo the damage. Your grandmother's methods were quietly cut out of the conversation, not because they were worse, but because they could not be sold back to her at a markup. Keep that in mind as the last secrets count down, because everyone is a thing a bride could do for almost nothing. Number 9. The slept-in silk scarf. In the nights before the wedding, a bride wrapped her set hair in a silk or satin scarf. The benefit is the lack of friction. A rough cotton pillowcase tugs at the hair all night, roughing up that cuticle and snapping fragile strands, while smooth silk lets the hair glide, preserving both the set and the strand. Less friction means less frizz and less breakage by morning. The method was wrapping the set hair in a silk scarf or sleeping on a satin pillowcase. Today, silk pillowcases are marketed as a premium hair care discovery, and your grandmother tied on a scarf and called it common sense. If the scarf protected the hair, the next softened the skin. Number 8. The honey mask. In the final week, a bride smoothed a little honey over her clean face, left it briefly, and rinsed it with warm water. Honey is a humectant, like the glycerin from earlier, drawing and holding moisture in the skin so it looks plump, and it is mildly antibacterial, which calms the breakout that nerves and stress bring on before a wedding. The method was a thin layer of plain honey on clean skin, left 10 or 15 minutes, then rinsed with warm water. Today, honey masks fill the shelves with long ingredient lists. and the original was a spoonful from the cupboard. If honey clarified the skin, the next calmed it. Number 7. The oatmeal soothing mask. For skin made red by stress or weather, a bride turned to a paste of ground oats and water. Oats contain compounds that calm inflammation and reduce redness, which is why oatmeal has long been used to settle irritated skin, and they form a soft, protective layer that comforts a stressed complexion. For a bride fighting nervous flare-ups, it was the calmest thing she could put on her face. The method was finely ground oats mixed with warm water into a paste, spread over the face, left for 10 minutes, then rinsed gently. Today, this same ground oat is the active ingredient in soothing creams sold at a premium, and your grandmother ground it from the breakfast box. If oatmeal calmed the face, the next freshened the eyes. Number 6. The cucumber and cool spoon eye treatment. On the wedding morning, a bride laid cool cucumber slices or chilled spoons over her eyes to take down the puffiness of a sleepless night. The chill constricts the small vessels around the eyes, and the water in the cucumber cools the thin skin, which together reduce swelling and the look of dark circles for those important first hours. The method was 2 cool slices or 2 chilled spoons held over closed eyes for 10 or 15 minutes. Today, depuffing eye masks sell that same chill, and your grandmother took it from the crisper drawer. The next secret is the one nobody wants to hear, and the one that mattered most. Number 5. Water and the early night. The plainest secret of all was that a bride drank her water and went to bed early in the run-up to the wedding. There was no product to buy, which is why it was so easily forgotten. Skin that is well hydrated from within looks plumper, and sleep is when the skin actually repairs itself, which is why a rested, hydrated bride glows in a way no cream can fully fake. Every expensive treatment is trying to imitate what enough water and enough sleep give for free. The method was steady glasses of water through the day and real early nights in the final week. Today, the wellness industry sells hydration drops and sleep supplements, and your grandmother filled a glass and turned off the light. If rest was the foundation, the next was the right tool. Number 4. The mild beauty soap used sparingly. A bride was particular about what touched her face, choosing a gentle beauty soap like Camay or Lux, rather than the harsh all-purpose soaps used for everything else in the house. This is the acid mantle once more. The harsh alkaline soap stripped that protective film hard, leaving the face tight and reactive, while a milder beauty soap, used only when needed and followed by cream, cleans without wrecking the barrier. The method was restraint, a gentle cleanser used lightly, cold cream for makeup removal, and never scrubbing the face raw. Today, gentle, low-stripping cleansers are sold as a modern philosophy of skincare, and your grandmother practiced it by reaching for the kinder bar. If the gentle cleanser protected the skin, the next prepared it. Number 3. The home facial steam. Once a week, not every day, a bride leaned over a bowl of hot water with a towel over her head to steam her face before a mask. The warmth softens the skin and the surface oils, making the face easier to clean gently and more receptive to whatever came next. The key was that it was occasional, because doing it too often would itself disturb the skin. The method was a bowl of steaming water, a towel tented over the head, 5 or 10 minutes, then a mask and a cool water finish. Today, steamers and weekly facials are sold as a spa indulgence, and your grandmother set it up with a bowl and a kettle. Now, the final 2, which are not tricks at all, but the whole philosophy. Number 2. Less done consistently over months. The second secret governs all the others. A 1950s bride did not cram her preparation into a panicked final week. She started months out and did a little, gently, all the time. Skin and hair change slowly. The skin renews itself over weeks, hair grows out over months, and small, consistent care compounds into a result no last-minute treatment can match. A bride who brushed her hair nightly, protected her skin barrier daily, and rested through the whole engagement arrived at the altar with a glow that was built, not bought. The method was patience and rhythm rather than intensity. Today, brides are sold crash facials in the final days, the most expensive and least effective moment to begin, when your grandmother understood that the real work was done slowly and long before. And now, the secret beneath every other one on this list. Number 1, work with the skin, not against it. Every single thing your grandmother did came down to one idea, the acid mantle stated as a philosophy. Her body already knew how to protect itself. The skin and the scalp make their own oil, hold their own moisture, and keep their own slightly acidic film at a pH of about 5.5. The entire 1950s approach to beauty was to support that natural protection rather than strip it away and sell something back to replace it. That is why the rinses were acidic, to side with the mantle instead of fighting it. That is why the cleansing was gentle, and the cold cream lifted makeup without scrubbing. That is why the egg fed the hair its own protein, and the brush moved the scalp's own oil, and the honey held the skin's own water in place. Nothing on this list works against the body. Every secret works with it. The reason so much of this was forgotten is that an industry grew up on the opposite premise, that the body is a problem to be corrected with a product, that the skin needs stripping, and the hair needs scouring, and the corrections then need their own corrections, bottle after bottle. Your grandmother's quiet refusal to believe that is the most valuable secret she ever kept. She trusted that her skin and her hair, supported and not assaulted, would do most of the work themselves. They did. And the bride who understands that today needs a fraction of what she is being sold because the most beautiful version of her was never going to come out of a jar. It was going to come from working with what your grandmother already knew. So here is the challenge. Pick one and try it this week. The cold water finish costs nothing and you will see it by tomorrow. The cider vinegar rinse takes 2 minutes in the shower. The rose water and glycerin mist takes 1 small bottle to mix. Start with any of the 3. I will tell you what happened when I tried it myself. I used the cider vinegar rinse, a couple of tablespoons in a cup of water after every wash for 2 weeks, expecting nothing. By the end, my hair was lying smoother than it had in years, the frizz had quieted down, and I was washing it less often because it was not getting greasy as fast. 2 weeks, 1 bottle from the kitchen, and a result I had been paying for in fancy bottles for a decade. So I want to settle something in the comments. Tell me which converts more of you, the cider vinegar rinse or the cold cream tissue off. Drop the one you are trying below and let us see which of your grandmother's secrets wins. Because that is really what all of this is. Not a trend, not a hack, but the patient, frugal, quietly brilliant wisdom your grandmother carried to her own wedding, still working exactly as well as it did the day she walked down the aisle.